asking questions. Not only a teacher, but also a team leader, a manager, or any member in the team can play a role as a trainer. And many trainers often ask, do you understand the lesson? Do you understand what to do? Do you understand your task? To check uh, participants' comprehension. But it is not the only effective way. So today's sharing gives a general introduction about asking questions in the class, in the meeting, or in the office. The purpose is to make the trainer aware of basic question types that can be used for different purposes, how to elicit short and long answer from participants in a very natural way, and make the trainers aware of different possible strategy for asking question. So first, the three question types. Yes no question or question and WH question. So yes no question established that they are especially useful for checking comprehension, and they are often the easiest questions to answer. They do not require the participant to produce the new language or idea. Oral question can sometimes called alternative question, and the replies usually only apart from the question itself. WH question are also called information questions, and with most WH question is a natural to give a short answer, and a few WH question require a long answer. Now, an important use of questions is to check that participants understand the new term or situation. So, why the participants only need to give short answers? There are two reasons. Because of it's a more natural, and also because at this stage the trainer only want to check that they understand later on. They can be asked to produce a new opinion themselves. And if the trainer asks the three types of questions in the classroom, in the meeting, or the office, it will help participants to feel that the situation is real. It's not just something in theory. Um, and another way that is eliciting long answers. So in the classroom, in the workshop, or in the meeting, we often want the participants to produce longer answer, right? So that they have chance to repeat to show their thinking, their opinion, and you can measure how much they understand or absorb. So three possible way of eliciting long answer. We could ask a question and insist a long answer. For example, the trainer can ask, please answer in 4, 5, 6 sentences. Or we can ask a more general questions, which would be naturally lead to a longer answer. Instead of asking a complete question, we could give a short prompt. Please tell me about or describe blah 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 you're about something. So this is often the easier and more effective way of getting participants to produce their opinion than asking questions. So questioning strategy. As well as we know that questions to ask trainer also need to know how to organize question and answer work in class. There are four popular questioning strategies shown below. Strategy A, the trainer asks the questions, then simply let participant call out the answer. If participant call out different answers at the same time, the trainer choose one participant to give the answer again. With a large meeting, class, or workshop, this strategy can be effective for simple questions with yes/no answers. Otherwise, it's likely to be too noisy and uncontrolled. And it could, of course, be suitable for small class, whereas there are no discipline problem. For example, a group of adults. Strategy B. The trainer asks the question, then pauses to give the whole class the chance to think of the answer. Then the trainer chooses one participant to answer, and the participants are not allowed to call out the answer or to raise their hand. This strategy keeps the class involved but still under control. It enables the trainers to give a chance for weaker participants as well as more confident ones. Although if the questions are too difficult, it may make participants feel threatened. In general, it is a good strategy for routine or fairly easy questions. Strategy C. The trainer first chooses a participant by pointing or saying the participant's name and then ask the participant a question. So if the participant cannot answer it, the trainer passes it on the next participant. So this strategy is highly controlled, but is another good way of keeping attention of the class as all the participants except the one answering the question can switch off. In general, is it better to understand? Is it better to ask the question first and then choose who to answer it? A strategy D. The trainers ask a question and let participants raise their hand if they think that they know the answer. And the trainer chooses one of the participants with their hands raised to answer. This strategy encourages bright participants and make the class seem to be successful because the participants are volunteering answer. But if it is not the only strategy used, allow the class to be dominated by the best participant, while weaker and shy participant tends to be excluded. It also makes it easy for participants to avoid answering questions. In general, is it a good strategy um, uh, for participants to uh, avoid the questions in the solo one. In general, it's a good strategy to use for different difficult questions that only some student will be able to answer. So I need to emphasize that there is no one single best strategy, and it's important for trainer to be aware of different possible strategy and to be more flexible. So those are the sharing for asking question for trainer strategy.